10, and we've got a good one in store between the Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets. The shadow's starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Now Wilson on first down. Throw left side complete. That's Wilson. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. These two teams, you might recall, met up back in September in Week 3. And it was the visitors getting the win there, so they'll be looking for the sweep back here at home. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Here's Wilson. And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
I didn't like the look of that play right from the beginning. I thought he should have seen the coverage that was there, tried to force it in. That one, he's fortunate, just fell incomplete.
A tough spot here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 7. Now it's Wilson. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Wilson. And he is going to have a Jets first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. The Jets at 7-2 here on the year. And they were losers last time out, but winners of 7 of 9 prior to that.
And it always hurts when you lose a tight game as they did a week ago. I think each player starts thinking to himself, if I could have played better one play here, one play there, maybe it could have changed this team's fortunes. But it absolutely illustrates how important it is to play a complete game if you want to win in the NFL.
Give them 12 yards there, and the Jets have a first. 2 first downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning it in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
They'll run it. This is Ramondre Stevenson. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's third down. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Here's the 7th play of this drive. This is 3rd and 4. Now Wilson. Puts it on the carpet. It's out. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. And without a doubt, not the way they pictured that opening drive unfolding.
No, they were making progress. They weren't exactly in high gear, but they were making a few yards along the way. And now that they've coughed it up, you got to go back to the sidelines and regroup a little bit.
Following the fumble recovery, here's Tua. And his throw here's incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes. But the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
Now here's a timeout defensively. Defensive timeout called by the Jets. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. 3.5 to go, first quarter. To throw on 2nd and 10. Tua. He's going to air one out. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
A deep ball down that right sideline, and he made sure that he put it where either his guy was going to catch it or no one was.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Now a play fake. Here's Tagovailoa. He'll get that one complete to Connor. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. Give him 12 yards there, and the Dolphins have a first down. Tua to throw again. Over the middle, complete. It's Connor. And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line. And forget about the run to set up the pass. They're just coming out throwing.
Forget trying to set anything up. They feel like they have the advantage. They feel like they have the matchups, and they're just attacking right now.
Yep, going to the air on the opening drive. Steps away to his left. That one caught by Tyreek Hill. And he'll be brought down at about the 23-yard line. Really been an ideal start for them. They get the turnover on the opening possession. Now here they are moving the ball straight down the field on their first drive.
And that feels good, but you know on their side of the field all they're thinking is finish this drive off because they took it away.
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. And the Jets are going to take over here at their own 22-yard line. So problems with errant passing continuing. Remember, he threw 2 picks in the loss last week, and now another here in this first quarter.
And sometimes, partner, this is the result of a quarterback who's simply trying to do too much. Feels like he's trying to make up for what he did last week, and you can't do it all on one throw.
Now Hall to start the drive. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. You don't see that a ton, do you? With a cornerback coming over to the middle of the field to make a run tackle.
That's someone with a ton of confidence to feel like nothing is pressuring him on his side of the field. Sees that the ball is moved to the middle and just sprints over there to help out. He ends up getting the tackle. Well played.
He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. On 3rd down, Wilson. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Javon Holland. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. So consecutive interceptions here early on in this one, and maybe setting the tone, Charles, for a game where the defense really takes center stage.
And don't you think that both offenses are really catching the bit from their coaching staff about avoiding these turnovers that we've seen early? I think both teams are trying to find an advantage. We know that. Can one of them break away and take control of this game?
First play of the drive going for 14 and also going for a first down. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. There is no denying they want to get him involved. That's already the 5th time that they've looked his way in this first quarter.
So that tells me defensively that they want to insist on going in that direction. Make sure you got your best people in the area to try and take that away. And a lot of times, these plays, they either go for nothing or they go for big yardage. And here, they got to the outside, turned it upfield, and ended up getting a nice little gain out of it.
Again, they will throw it with Tagovailoa. And he's got room. And he's finally taken down, and it's a big gain there on what will turn out to be the final play of this first quarter. No score after 1 on EA Sports. The chain gang hustling to catch up. Here's first and goal from just inside the 10. Tua going to tap this forward on the jet sweep. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. A nice play design there with the touch pass. Looked good at the start, but bottom line, the defense was ready.
And they did a nice job scouting, didn't they? Not just scouting, but now executing once they saw the play for real after having worked on it all week in practice. They drilled on the play, then they drilled him.
Second down and goal. Tua. And that is caught. Touchdown, Miami. Bo Melton. Touchdown number 18 on the year. And the Dolphins post the first points of the ball game as they take the lead here in this second quarter. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And that makes the score 7-0. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. And job one here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. And right now, they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor, though. But thank you, Dr. Davis. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. Ball at the 24 and a 2nd and 11. Off the play fake. Here's Wilson. Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Keon Crossen. And the Dolphins are in great shape here as they take over at their 46-yard line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. They start near midfield following the interception as they begin 1st and 10. After the turnover, it's Tua. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down.
They certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Tua dancing to his left. And he'll just get rid of it.
Well, they approached this drive with a lot of confidence after their last one ended up as a touchdown. But incompletions on their first 2 throws has them huddling up and trying to figure out a big play here on 3rd down to get their momentum going again.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Going to the air, Tagovailoa. And going deep for Hill. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. The Dolphins will send out the punter now, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. No returning this one. It sails out of bounds, and they'll spot it right at the 20. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs. So they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. And he's in. Touchdown, Jets. Breece Hall hitting double digits with his 10th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Jets are able to strike quickly here as they are in for 6. Extra point splits the uprights, and we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the #1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in, but I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, that's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we'd be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today.
Right.
So they've got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're #1 in their conference.
Here's Tagovailoa on 1st and 10. Trying to lay one up deep. And this is caught. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Well, that's a heck of a response to regain the lead after we had seen the touchdown to tie the game.
I would say what we just saw there was a great amount of poise, because typically when teams tie the game up, it's a little bit of a, how would you say, you kind of take a step back and have to get yourself regrouped. They regrouped in a hurry, didn't they? They attacked back after they'd been tied.
And in a big way, that was a statement-long touchdown. Fielded just outside the goal line. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. They trail a 1-score deficit, 14-7, as they come up 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground, Hall. And that'll hurt the average a bit, as this time they're able to get him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Hall again on 2nd down. And it's out. He put it on the carpet.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get them all. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. And he'll manage to pick up about 4 at second down.
The defense thought they had that play covered, but it still got driven backward by those blockers. Those types of plays are a key part of any team's offensive game plan. It all starts up front in the trenches.
Hall again on second down. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7. Is that one officially a loss of 1?
On running plays, linemen, of course, have their assignments. That's expected. But it's not often you're expecting to see a cornerback blitzing in run support and tackling the runner for a loss.
We've hit the 2-minute mark of the second quarter. 14-7. They go play action now. Wilson. Open man here is Conklin. And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line. On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away.
Nice progress down the field was halted by that incompletion. They could try for some safe yards here to get things moving again, or keep throwing it and pushing it downfield to try and pick up bigger yardage.
Here's a quick throw out to Wilson. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. That's on the guard, Laken Tomlinson. And the line to gain here is the 37 on 3rd down. To throw again is Wilson. He finds his man, complete. It's Wilson. And he will go out right near the 35-yard line. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Here's Wilson. The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. And they'll work this down inside the 30. From the 29, Wilson. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. Now the Jets going to use the second of their 3 timeouts, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. So now Wilson and the Jets with a 3rd and long here following the sack. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
They converted twice on 3rd down that drive already, but couldn't make it a 3rd. We always talk about in-game adjustments. How about what the defense did there, able to shut them down on that attempt.
And this is right down the middle as he puts it through. Charles, even as long field goals become more and more common, this is still a very rarefied air. Only just over 20 field goals have been kicked from 60 yards or further, and you can add his name to the list now.
And as calm as he tried to present himself, there's no doubt there were some nerves as he lined up to attempt that kick. But once the ball was snapped, he just swept the leg and boom, over the crossbar.
Here we go.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think...
No, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted.
certainly feels like the classic second guess, but let's be honest about it. They had a chance going to halftime with the lead. Why did they take a chance with a throw there? I don't understand that.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, and now this defense has to try to protect that lead going into the locker room. After the interception, here's Wilson. And that'll be incomplete with just 6 seconds left on the clock.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
And his kick is good. So that, Charles, a season long, and since he's a rookie, I guess we can go ahead and call that a career long as well.
I love how you put that together because, you know, as everyone at home was saying, okay, has to be career, right, since he's a rookie. Well done by you, but I definitely like what I've seen from him so far this year. Very distinguished college career. He's looking right at home here in the NFL.
So a very tight first half. We had to break in a one-point game. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3 alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gordon. The Dolphins in front, and they'll be in possession of the football first as the second half gets started. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. This offense set to begin the third quarter. And, Charles, if they had a checklist of things they wanted to accomplish in the first half, certainly at the top of that, to a hit, and the ball is out. When that ball popped free, we could hear it all the way up here. Those guys down on the field alerting everyone of the fumble. He's lucky that his offensive mates picked him up and jumped on it.
Yeah, and you have to think to yourself, and I'm sure they've been echoing it on the sideline and into the huddle. Guys, we have the lead. Just take care of the football. Don't make it easier for them to start to make a comeback.
Throwing again on second down, but this time it's incomplete. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the third quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking.
Oh, and Tua going to be intercepted for the third time. And the Jets are going to take possession of the football. That is a tough way to start the third quarter. You get the football, hoping to drive it down, put it in the end zone, and take the lead. Instead, they give them the football.
And I think the key here is for them to not get discouraged. That is not how they drew it up, not how they saw it in their minds. But there's a long way to go in this game. You know, they've just got to find a way to come back one play at a time. Yes, it's a cliche, but they can get it done.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Ball again on second down. And he only manages a couple here down to about the 38-yard line. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
Here's Wilson to throw. And that is incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. And they have regained the lead. But whatever was said in the locker room during the break must have worked. They forced the turnover. They didn't get the touchdown, Charles, but it does translate into 3 points to begin this second half.
Exactly as they discussed in the locker room at halftime. Get some points to get things kick-started. Now start your half off with some momentum. Gives you something to build on for your next possession.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. On 2nd and 7, Tua forced out to his left. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Well, defensively, they haven't let him just sit in the pocket and get comfortable, and that's opposite a lot of game plans in today's NFL. Ordinarily, you're trying to keep the flushes out, they're fine with that, and they force another incompletion.
Buying time to his left. Now he'll throw deep left side. And that's caught inside the 35. And he'll be hauled down at about the 30-yard line.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver it. As this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
On first down, Tagovailoa. He finds his man, complete. It's Connor. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. From down at the 12, it's first and 10. Evans running behind center. And he'll be dropped at about the 11 after only a yard. The run only got a yard. Here's second and 9. From the gun, it's Tua. Incomplete.
Well, they certainly did a nice job there, picking him up out of the backfield and then running stride for stride with it. That's good coverage, and it led to an incompletion.
Field goal would get him the lead, but that's not what they're shooting for as they come up on third down. Tagovailoa working out of the gun. Being chased out left. Over the middle to Evans. And they'll rally and stop him short of the first down at about the 6. Tagovailoa going for it on fourth down. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Ashton Davis. And I think he's going to go. They're not going to get him. The 20, 10. And he brings this one back. It's a pick-6 and a Jet touchdown. So what a turn of events there. You're driving to take the lead in this third quarter, but then one mistake, and you're watching the ball being returned for a touchdown.
Certainly a great example of how focus has to be there on every play, doesn't it, partner? You can't get complacent, and I think that he did. He's got him moving downfield, but that's a play where he just shouldn't have thrown the football. And ultimately, could wind up costing him the ball game.
Extra point right down the middle. And that makes this a 9-point game. So they throw the pick-6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. Had one tell me once, we were having a tough patch. This too shall pass, this too shall pass. And finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. So nothing there that time, and maybe you need to look to the O-line. They weren't able to create any space.
No, they weren't, and you know as well as I do, as many offensive line coaches we've ever met, I think that'll be addressed loudly when those guys get to the sideline.
And they're usually loud and big. Got a man, it's Waddle, complete. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. An excellent pickup of 34 yards. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for first and 10. Oh, they're going to run a little pop pass here. Room here to run. And he will score. Touchdown, Miami. Bo Melton with his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Dolphins are able to cut into this deficit here in the final minute of the third. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the lead is down to 2. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. Still enjoying the lead here in the third quarter despite their defense giving up that last touchdown. Now they'll see if they can get the equalizer here on this drive. And he's going to be taken down at the 28-yard line.
This is what made the West Coast offense a staple around the NFL in the 80s and 90s. You don't have to push the ball deep downfield to come up with big plays. And there's an example of that right there.
And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. On 1st and 10, it's Hall. Not quite the success they had last play. This one goes for 3 yards. Well, with the fumble he had earlier, we know how key keeping the football is here. That fumble earlier probably at the forefront of his mind. Just hold on to this thing.
It's also at the forefront of the mind of the guys who are trying to get the ball from him. And since they've seen him drop it on the ground before, they're doing everything possible to have him do it again. They need that turnover.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. So now 3rd and 10, a big play to start the drive, but nothing since. Wilson. And that's knocked away and incomplete.
But based on the play we just saw there, he might not be the guy you want to challenge in coverage on these all-important snaps. He certainly looks dialed in right now.
And this one is right down Broadway. And it will push the lead up to 5. So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. Running room at the 50. Look out. Past the 20. He will score. Touchdown, Miami. It's been a back-and-forth game, a lot of points on the board, and that return right there kind of indicative of how this thing's gone.
Well, you've seen both teams go at it, and as you just pointed out, both of them found the end zone. But just like in boxing, you know the blow that hurts the most? The one you didn't see coming, and that often is the...
And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted.
charts that tells you to go for 2 or go for 1?
I don't. I know you do, but I don't care what the chart says there. You got to kick it, right?
I agree totally, because somewhere the chart's something's gonna pop out of the chart and say, hey man, just kick the extra point here. You're in good shape. I think they were chasing points there when they didn't need to.
Yeah, try to get a little bit greedy, take the lead in the fourth quarter. Now they still trail by 1. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. And they will be looking to answer the touchdown their defense just surrendered. Still a good chunk of time remaining here in the fourth quarter and a chance to regain the lead in a tight one. On the counter, it's Hall. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, sometimes as a running back, you've got to be able to improvise when the hole's not where you expect it to be. But in this case, there wasn't any improvisation that he could do that was going to work. Kind of like if you're trying to be a comedian on open mic night at the Improv and you run into a tough crowd.
Hall again on 2nd down. And he'll push his way forward to about the 32. It'll be a gain of 5, but still about 3 yards shy of the first down marker, and now it's 3rd down.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
They'll run with Hall. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
Here we go. It's Wilson on 4th down. He finds his man, complete. That's Wilson. And he is going to have a Jets first down as they wind up getting 13 there on 4th down. The conversion is successful with a sizable gain of 13, and the decision to go for it looks like a smart one. Here's a little touch pass as they tap it quickly to their receiver. And he'll take this one up close to about the 45.
That's a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on it before he could get much out of it.
Now it's 2nd and 9. There's a fast release by Wilson out to the flat. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
Down inside the 40.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
Ball again on 2nd down. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. 4th quarter, 2 minutes on the clock in a tight 1-point game. A potential field goal, if you're thinking about that, almost 55 yards from here as they try to get closer on 3rd down. On 3rd down, here's Hall. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Partner, you got about 20 coaches on your payroll, but there's 60,000 of them in the stands. I don't think any of them like that play.
And the later we go, it's starting to sound like 100,000 in here. They'll try and throw for it with Wilson. DeAndre Hopkins making the catch. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. DeAndre Hopkins, 38 yards. And the Jets answer back with a touchdown of their own to take a 4th quarter lead.
Well, partner, this hasn't been the smoothest day for him, but he certainly picked the right time to get right, as they like to say. How about that for a touchdown?
Boy, he did. I guess they say all's well that ends well. It's not over yet, but you're right. He picked a good time for that first touchdown pass.
Exactly right. Not over yet. The defense got to make it over.
And he's got it. So the 2-point conversion is good, and they add on to their 4th quarter lead. The Jets kick team out now to boot this one away. Fielded just outside the goal line. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30, up to the 33. The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. So remember, Charles, last time they were out here, they scored, but they just saw the opposition score, and they're trailing right now, so they're trying to keep pace here. They need a touchdown drive.
Well, if you're a fan of offense, you're loving this, but if you're a fan of defense, this is tough to watch, and it's also tough to keep that up when you just watch your opponent march down the field on a scoring drive that lasts into double-digit snaps. You need a score here, not just to follow the momentum from your last drive, but put the onus back on your opponent. And that's...
He's got a man, complete. And yes, he's into the end zone. So they get the late score they needed. And now the extra point can tie this thing up in the final minute. Sanders on for the extra point. And we are tied here in the 4th quarter. Set to go now with the kickoff. These two teams all even again as we continue in this wild 4th quarter. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. Well, partner, here it is. They've got the chance to win the game. You'd have to think they need to get it near the opposite 40 to have. And this is going to be intercepted. And the Jets are going to take possession of the football. Wait a second. They declined the penalty?
I'm as puzzled as you are, partner. I don't understand how anytime you lose possession of the ball, yet you turn down a penalty that would give you possession back. Now let's make this simple. Anyone who plays the game, take the football. Always take the football.
The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Oh, they're going to run a little pop pass here. Now a second timeout called for by the defense as they stop it here with just under 40 seconds to go in the game. From here, it would be a 45-yard field goal attempt, certainly in range, but they'll look for more yardage on 3rd down. Now Thompson. Eluding the pressure right. Working the sideline here. Did he get the feet in? Yes, they say that he did. Nice job tapping both of them down. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me. I'm going to keep firing.
That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
Well, they would have loved to have scored a touchdown there, but this still sets him up for a game-winning field goal attempt.
And his kick is good. And it's celebration time on that sideline as they have taken the lead in the final seconds. So he's able to come through in a hostile environment, and you'd have to imagine that's the game winner.
Yeah, how about that? And the way that this game's gone, you think they really wanted to get to overtime and take their chances there? They wanted to get this thing done. When you're the visitor, you don't want to play into overtime. You want to knock it down, get it done, and go home.
Fields the squib kick right around the 30. Now on the return, oh no, the ball. Now on the return, oh no, the ball is loose. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. And that will write a finish to this ball game. That was an excellent come-from-behind victory, Charles, especially there in the 4th quarter. Both offense and defense were clicking. They're going to feel good about this one.
Boy, are they ever, because the deficit they faced certainly wasn't small. They obviously did not give up on that one, and in the end, how about that come-from-behind victory? They'll cherish this one for a while.
So for the Dolphins, they continue to put themselves in position for a first-round bye as they move to 8-2. And they will head home next week to take on the Tennessee Titans. Meanwhile, for the Jets, they come back to the pack a bit as their record falls to 7-3.
And they will be back home next week for a date with Washington.
beautiful. I can't let this moment pass. Yeah, I know my time is now. Know my mama proud of me and my grandma smiling down. Every time I turn it up, whole crowd be wildin' out. Matter of fact, let me see your hands. Look, I saw my shot and I took it. I couldn't do it different. Couldn't afford to stop and go. I had to stay consistent. Made up my mind that no